Hello and welcome aboard. Welcome to Wichita, Kansas, and welcome aboard a simple Cessna 152. Simple little two-seat fixed tricycle gear, general aviation plane. Usually you see this as flight training and personal use. We got these things buzzing around our place because we're in a flight pattern for a little airport. Why am I doing a Cessna? Well, because this is a really good Cessna. Remember the 757 I did, which was a payware plane that they gave away for free and then you could buy extra stuff. Well, Just Flight, who made the 757, also made this 152, and you can get it free, which is the best price in the world. All right, let's get inside our little 152 here. Beautiful interior. I mean, look at this. I can read. Look at that. I can read back here. I mean, yes, it is a little bit fuzzy, but still I can read it. It is a nice looking little aircraft. All right. It's not a lot here, so let's just go ahead and oh wait, flaps. Let's put some flaps down. There we go. Electrically actuated flaps. You're on a little 152. Look at that. There's max flap. We don't need no stinking flap. We're actually at Cessna Field in Wichita, so actually let's just take a little bit of flap here. It just made sense to me, you know? We're flying a Cessna, take off from Cessna Field. Yeah, why not? All right, let's run up our Lycoming 0235 L2C flat 4 engine, 110 horsepower, roaring down the runway. And away we go. And retract the flap and up and away. A very simple aircraft. Nice aircraft to learn to fly on. Relatively forgiving from everything I have heard. First delivered in 1977. The 152 was a modernization of the Cessna 150. Makes sense, right? You increase the number so your aircraft is more modern? Yeah, that's what I thought. It was intended to compete with the Beechcraft Skipper and the Piper Tomahawk, both aircraft I've heard of, but they're not nearly as prevalent as a 152. When you think of general aviation aircraft, you think Cessna. So it sort of fits. There are additional design goals, though, other than just competing. They wanted to improve the useful load through a gross weight increase to 1,670 pounds, decrease the internal and external noise, and run better on the newly introduced 100LL, which is the low lead fuel. Production of the 152 ended in 1985. So that was a run of not quite 10 years, 8-year run, not bad. In that 8 years, 7,585 examples of the 152 were built. All 152s were manufactured with a Lycoming 0235 engine. Now, this provided not only an increase in engine power over the 150, but as I said earlier, it was more compatible with that new 100LL low lead fuel. See that airport right over there? That's where we're going to go land at. I think that is Mid-Continent Airport right there. Funny story, when I was actually in Wichita and I had a GPS, the GPS, when it tried to say Mid-Continent Airport, it actually said Incontinent Airport. It was kind of funny. Anyway, Cessnas that were produced between 77 and 82 were equipped with the L2C engine that produced 110 horsepower at 2,550 RPM. However, the engine still suffered from lead fouling problems, and in 1983 it was replaced by the 108 horsepower N2C engine, which had a different piston design, redesigned combustion chambers to deal with the fouling issues. The N2C engine was used until production was terminated. Let's get inside for a second. Dual controls. This was an option on the 152. But as far as any research that I've been able to do, it seemed like almost every model actually had the dual controls installed. Now let's hit our numbers here. Shift 1, there's our beautiful little cockpit. Look at that. It's buttons. Shift 2 gives me some sticks, which really works better with that. And 3, there's a GPS. 4 is a compass. 5 is a fuel switch. There's my hours gauge. There's my comm. Look at this. A classic comm panel. I even have to turn it on. You don't remember to turn it on, it doesn't work. Turn it off. What was that, 6? No. 7. L8 gets me my altitude, and 9, that's the end of the line. So a lot of buttons there. Now, I like that it's like every button actuates. Like here's my taxi lights. On, off. What do we got here? Nav lights. On. Pitot. I don't need pitot heat. And when you flip it, did you notice the low volt light? Boop. So we get that moment of low voltage, which would make sense. I mean, it's not like we got like the most powerful engine in the world here. Got our simple mixture control. We got our little flaps lever. Got our throttle all the way. Now, the thing is, a lot of you are going to be like, okay, this aircraft is really boring. Well, it is, yes. When you compare it to something like a MiG-29 or a Fox-Bat or anything like that. But it's such an important little aircraft and really quality piece of kit. I've actually been flying it a good bit before this spotlight. I picked it up about the middle of last month and just got around to spotlighting it. And I've just been having a blast with it. It's simple to fly. Because it's a prop aircraft, it's easy for people like me that are often ham-fisted when I'm flying. And while it's slow, while it is a very slow aircraft, it's a fun aircraft. And what's more, let's get in our aircraft before we flip it. What's more, because the aircraft moves so slow, you don't end up behind the aircraft. So it lets me to practice my VOR navigation and my landings and my patterns and all that, while still having access to all the kit here that I have access to on any of my other aircraft. But it gives me this access without having to feel like I'm going to crash the aircraft all the time. All in all, this is a really nice aircraft. It's definitely worth checking out if you want another little general aviation aircraft to add to your aviation library, add to your hangar. Definitely worth looking at. The link is in the description as always. I've been DerTebbers. This has been your Flight Simulator X-Plane Spotlight. We've been flying Just Flight's Cessna 152. It's a little bit of freeware. Definitely worth checking out. Till next time. Happy flying.